So what I said is, yesterday, so I said how to communicate with MySQL. So let us see how to communicate with. So there's one more database, like how. So how Python program communicate with which database? Oracle database. So first thing you have to install the Oracle software, and I said you have to install one library. So what is that library you have to install is okay cx underscore Oracle. So after this, I said if you want to open or if you want to work with Oracle, what you have to do is you have to open run SQL command line client. So there will be a default username and password. So what is the default? Oracle username is system and password is manager, or you have some more database usernames and password like Scott and Tiger also, right? Yeah, this is what you're doing. Now the username is system and password is what? Manager. So open this SQL command line client. Run SQL command line. So this is for working with the Oracle database. Run SQL command line here. So there is a connect with the okay. Now here I try to create a table. So create table. So assume that the name of the table is so I just create user registration table. What is the name of the table? User registration table. So in this, I'm creating name, which is varchar 220. Second one is username, and username must be what here? Primary key. So primary key, and it should be what? Unique. It should not be null, and it should be what here? Unique. Then next one is the password, which is varchar 2 and 20. Now I created table in what? Oracle. Okay. See, commands are same. Insert, update, delete. All these commands are what? Same. Only the thing is, we change only which one? Database. Only database will change. But everything will be what here? Same only. Okay. Only one thing will get changed. And what is that thing will get changed? Only database. But rest of the things will be what here? Same only. Okay. So now create one table. So create first one table. Now on this table, we'll try to perform all operations like inserting, updating, deleting, retrieving, right? On which table here? User register table. So first we'll see how to register the user. How to register user. user registration. I want to write a program. So write a program to register what? User. Registering user is nothing but inserting what? Values. Registering user is nothing but inserting values into what is a table I created? User register table. Inserting values into user register table. But this table is created in Oracle database. Now I'm saying import cx underscore what is that? Okay, import cx underscore what is that? Oracle. Import cx underscore what here? Oracle. Okay. So after that, I tried to establish connection here. Now cx underscore oracle dot, what is the name of this function? Connect. So connect, you directly give username and you give which one here? Slash password. Okay, and you give the database name. So default database created for Express Edition is XC. What is the name of the database here? XC. Okay. So first one is username and second one is what? Password. And I just write here at the rate. What is this here? Database name. So for that I use connect, right? So what is the name of the function I use here? Connect. So connect is a function which is used to connect, establish connection to database. So connect is a function. Now you can also give like this: username, password, and like this also you can give. Will give like that. So you can give as one string, or you can give individually. What you can give? Username, and what you can give? Password, and what you can say where your database is running. My database is running in a system. Now this is nothing but IP address. IP address or host name of the system where your database is running. Now the database is running in the same system, and the host name of the current system is what? Localhost. But if it is running in some other system, you have to give the IP address. If it is running in a system where your database is running, you have to give the IP address. So this is running in by giving 5. So this you can call it as what here? IP address. But this Oracle database is running in the same system. Then I'm just writing here as what? Local host. So connect, and I'll say, so print connection established. What is the message I displayed? Connection established. So connection is established. So connection is what here? Established here. So once you run this, yeah. So there is a so there's a conflict is there. So 1 minute. So go to the command prompt. So pip install cx underscore, what is it? Oracle. So we'll just check this. So it is installed. Now what I'm doing is, so I tried to execute. So it is not installed properly. So installation. What happened here? So cx underscore oracle. We'll just import first and see. Okay. Okay. I think we have to use 64-bit, 32-bit. You have two things here. So the problem is, so 64-bit and 32-bit. So here we have a multiple versions. So because of that. So I have a multiple versions. Because of that, there is some conflict here. So I try to install again. So the problem is multiple versions. Okay, I'm just removing all and installing one version. Same system. So I just give the host name as what here, local host, and then it followed by database name. So what is the name of the database I've given? XC. Okay. So once a connection is established, what you can do next? Once the connection is established, what is the first step? Creating cursor. What is the third step? Sending SQL statements. Creating cursor and sending SQL statements. Whichever SQL statement you want to send, you can send that SQL statement. So here the SQL statement I said two types. One is static SQL statements and one more is dynamic SQL statements. I said, static SQL statements are the SQL statements with values, and dynamic SQL statements are the SQL statements without values, but with what? Parameters or arguments. So you give the values to those parameters after compiling or during execution of program. Now I want to write a program to register the user. I want to write I want to write a program to register what here? User. So registering user is nothing but inserting values into which table here? User register table. So this table is created in which database? Oracle database. This table is created in which database? Oracle database. Just import. What do you have to import? CX underscore. What is that here? Oracle. After that, okay, first step is establishing which one? Connection. So CX underscore Oracle dot connect. So what is a Oracle database username? System. What is Oracle database password? Manager. Okay, system. And one more is what here? Manager. Okay, system is a username and manager is a password. And local host is the host name. Okay, this is a host name and slash. And this is what here? Database name. So once you establish connection, next what you do it? You have to insert the values, right? For inserting values, you have to send which command? Insert command. So I'm just writing which command? Insert command. Insert into what is the name of the table? User register table. Insert into user register table values. This table is having how many columns here? This user register table is having how many columns? 3 columns are there. Name, username, and password. So I have to define the value of name. I have to define the value of name, username, and password. But I want to create which statement? Dynamic SQL statement, not a static dynamic SQL statement. But if it is dynamic SQL statement, you try to define with what? Parameters. Now, this syntax of parameters with the percentages is related with MySQL, but when it comes to the Oracle, right, you define with numbers. So there will be a replacement fields, and those fields are prefixed with what here? Colon. So generally, this is in Oracle, you call it as environment variables. Same thing you do in Oracle also. So colon 1, okay, colon 1, colon 2, and one more is what? Colon 3. So how many values you are inserting here? 3 values. So first value is name, and second value is username, and third value is what? Password. Then create a cursor by saying connection dot, what is it here? Cursor. This is creating which object? Cursor object. So after creating a cursor, using this cursor, I have to send the SQL statement. So I just display the message. What is the message is user what? Registration. So user registration where I try to input what here? Name. I try to input the name. So name of the user. And second one is user name. You try to input. And third one is you are trying to input which one? Password. So how many values you are trying to input here? The first one is name, and second one is username, and third one is what here? Password. So after that, what I have to do is I have to write cursor dot execute. Okay. So you are executing which command? Insert command. And this insert command you are executing by sending the values. What is the first value? Name, and second value is username, and third value is what? Password. So I'll try to get the row count. See, everything will be the same. If the row count is greater than 0, okay, just display the message saying that user registered successfully. Then I'll try to commit the changes. Okay, I'll try to commit the changes. Then after that, I call the function main. Okay, I commit the changes and I try to call the function which one? Main. So you are trying to send how many values here? Now this is name is one variable, and user is one variable, and password is what here? One variable. So these values now, first field is replaced with the value of which one? Name. And second field is replaced with the value of which one? User. And third field is replaced with the value of which variable? Password. Okay, now I'm trying to execute. So once you run this, so your name is, I'm trying to give the name is a Naresh, and username NIT, and password is what here? NIT123. Now you can see the user registered, and go to the database and verify what is this here? Select star from, what is the name of the table? User register table. User register table. Now you can see the Naresh. Username is NIT and password is what? NIT123, right? So this is, now we are trying to read the name and assign to which variable? Name. We read the username and assign to which variable? PWD. And we read the username and assign to which variable? User. And these values you are replacing inside what? Command. Okay. So this first field is replaced with the value of which one? Name variable. And second field is replaced with the value of which variable? User. And third field is replaced with the value of which variable? PWD. So this variable names can mean anything. Okay, I can write ABC. So first field you are replacing with the A, second field you are replacing with the B, and third field you are replacing with what? C. No problem. Any names. Now name. So name, username, and this is what again? Password. Now as it user is registered, right? See in the database, like select star from, what is the name of the table? User register table. So table, now you can see how many users are registered here. 2 users. So these are the logics which are used in application development. These are simple logics. Okay. Now this is nothing but sign up. What is this logic now? Sign up logic. This is a sign up logic. Sign up. So sign up is nothing but registering what here? Users. And sign in is nothing but verifying is it that user is already registered or not. If it is registered, you'll try to display some message like welcome, like that. If it is not registered, then you display the error saying that invalid username or password. You display the message saying that invalid username or password, right? So this is user registration, which is nothing but sign up logic. Suppose I want to write a logic for which one? Sign in. So write a program. Okay, write a program to, what is that here? Sign in. Okay, previous one is what? Sign up. Now this one is what? Sign in. So sign in. So when you want to sign in, so you try to input some values. Now CX underscore Oracle. Now after that, anyway, first step is you have to establish connection to what? Database. So CX underscore Oracle dot connect. So here username is system. Username is system, and password is what here? Manager. And where your database is running? Localhost. What is your database name? XC. Okay, now after that, you create a cursor by saying connection dot, what is that? Cursor. So always you send the SQL statements using what? Cursor. Okay. So I just write here connection dot cursor. So after that, I'm trying to display the message here. So what is the message is? Sign in. Okay, now this is which program? Sign in program. So what you are trying to input here? Username. So input, what you are trying to input here? Username. Okay. Then you are trying to input which one? Password. Okay, so after giving this username and password, now where should I verify this username password in the database? I should verify this username and password in the database. If this username and password is exist in the database, I'll say welcome. Otherwise, I'll say invalid username or password. So how can I verify is that this username password exists in the database? How can I verify is that this username password exists in the database? By retrieving the details. I said select star from, what is the name of the table? User register table. So where username equal to 1 and password equal to, what is that? 2. Now this is my command. Suppose if there is any user with this username and password, cursor will have one row. Cursor will have one row. If there is no username and password with this username and password, cursor will be what? Empty, because there's no rows, right? Okay. Then I'm saying cursor dot execute. You are executing this command by sending how many values? Two values. One is username, and one more value you're sending is what? Password. You're sending how many values to this? Two values. One is the username, the other one is what? Password. Then what I'm doing is some row equal to cursor dot. What is that here? Fetch one. So fetch one will fetch one row from the cursor. But when will it return the row? If there is a row. Means if there is a user with that username and password. If there is no user with that username and password, is it cursor will have any rows? No. Then fetch one returns what? None. If r equal to none, okay. If r equal to none means if row is none, then I'm saying invalid. Invalid what? Username or invalid username or what? Password. Otherwise, I display the message saying that format username, and I just display the message what? Welcome. So I close the connection by saying connection dot close. So what we are doing it, we are retrieving the data. Now sign in, enter username. So username is NIT and password is NIT123. Now you can see NIT what? Welcome. Because is it this user is exist or not exist? Exists. Okay, I try to execute again. Now username is Ram and Ram123. Now Ram is also welcome. Okay, now I'll try to enter some username is Suresh and S123. Now you can see invalid username or password because there is no user with that username and password. So how to verify it whether a given username is exist or not by using which command? Select command. How you are verifying it by using which command here? Select command. So select star from. You are retrieving the data from which table? User register table. Are you retrieving all the details from user register table? No. You are retrieving only the details of whom? A given username and password. If there is any user with the given username and password, it will retrieve and store inside what? Cursor. If there is no user with the given username and password, cursor will be what? Empty. If I write fetch one, if there is no row inside a cursor, then it returns none. If r equal to none, you are saying invalid username or password. But if there is any user with that username and password, so cursor will have one row or not. Then I'm trying to display the message, username and what is it? Welcome. All this code you'll write in your, while developing a project. While developing a project, you combine all these things only. Okay, project means here we are writing individual programs. Rather than writing individual programs, you put all this in one application. Sign in, sign up, okay, update password, okay, delete user. All these are what? Operations which you write in your one application instead of writing multiple, right? Okay, instead of writing multiple. So colon 1 is first parameter, colon 2 is a second, colon 1 is the first, colon 2 is a second. First replacement field, second replacement field. This is a first field. What is the first field? I send username. What is the second field? I send password. So those are replacement field numbers, right? So in the place of percentage S, like in yesterday's class, we use what? Percentage S. In yesterday's class, we use what? Percentage S. In the place of percentage S, now we used which one? Colon 1 and colon 2. In the place of percentage S, You use :1 and :2. Okay. Now this is registering user and this is updating which one? Password. Okay. Now sign in. Sign in. Now what I want to do is I want to update the password. I want to update what? Password. Updating is nothing but, is it replacing the values or not? Yes. Updating is nothing but replacing the values. Now I want to replace the values. How can you replace the values? By sending which command? Update command. So DML. So every project you do some DML operations like inserting, updating, and one more is what? Deleting. Inserting, updating, and deleting it, right? DML, insert, update, delete. Okay, DRL is nothing but retrieving. So you should know 3-4 commands, you should know it. Insert, update, delete, and what? Retrieve. Because sometimes you may design the database like creating table. So you create a table. Once you create a table, on this table, you'll try to do all these operations like inserting, updating, deleting, and what? Retrieving. Any project. So, but that insertion, deletion, and updation, you try to do it by using some business logic. Business logic. Based on the business logic, you'll try to do all these operations. Okay, you're not saying inserting directly, right? For example, I said banking application withdraw means update. Withdraw means update. Deposit means update. You are updating the balance by subtracting or by adding it. Okay. Yes. So now import CX underscore Oracle. Now this is a program. Okay. Program to update password of user. I want to update the password of a user. So when can I update the password of the user? If that user is exists. If that user is exists, then only you'll try to update it. If that user is not exists, then you'll say invalid. This user name and password is not valid. This username and password is what? Invalid. Right? So what I'm doing now again, these are the basic steps. Okay. So connection, see, everything will be the same. Only library changes. Library changes. Only one thing changes. What is that? Database and library. Okay, database and library. Everything will be the same. MySQL database, MySQL connector we use. Oracle database, we are using CX underscore Oracle. Postgres SQL is there. Then you'll use which library? Postgres SQL library. Okay, now, but rest of the things will be what? Same, because all these libraries are developed by following the same rules and regulations. So every library will have a connect function. Every library will have the cursor. Every library will have the connection. Every library will have cursor. Every library will have execute. Every library will have fetch one. It means all these are the standards which are followed by database vendors for developing which one? Libraries. It means all these people come up with one standard. Otherwise, what will happen? Your application becomes a database dependent. Okay, in this case, I have to change only the library and connection. That's it. Will you do any changes in the code? No. Only library and connection you'll change, but rest of the things will be become what? Same. So it means your application becomes what? Database independent. Your application becomes a database independent because all these function names are the same or different? Same. Only library you'll try to do what? Change, right? So connection, CX underscore Oracle dot, what I'm saying here, connect. Now username is given and password and is running in local host and database name is X here. So after this, I have to create a cursor connection dot cursor. So this will create which object now? Cursor object. This will create a cursor object. Cursor object is created. So we are creating a cursor object for sending what here? SQL statements. We are creating a cursor object for sending SQL statements. Now, what I have to do? I have to update the password or not? Yes. For updating password, what you are asking for? You are asking for what is that? Username, and you are asking for old password. You're asking for old password. Okay. Then you're asking for new password, old password, and then update with which password? New password. So how many inputs I have given here? 3 inputs. One is a user, and second one is old password, and one more is which one? New password. So what I have to do now? I have to send one command, right? So what command I have to send it for replacing the values? Update command. Which command I'm sending for replacing the values? Update command. Update. Update. Which table you are updating? User register table. Which table are you updating? User register table. Set. Which column you are updating? Password column. You are updating password column with what? A new password. You are updating the password column with a new password. But are you updating the passwords of all the users or only one user? One user. Then I have to use where. Where username equal to given username and password equal to which password? Old password. Old password. Now username and old password is matched. If username and old password match, then only it will replace with what? New password. If username doesn't match or old password doesn't match, will it replace? No. Okay. So here I have to send how many values? Now cursor dot execute. This command comma. What is the first one? New password. The value of first field is what here? New password. And what is the value of second one? Username. What is the value of third one? Old password. Now, is it this is update command or not? Yes. What update command returns? The count. How many rows are inserted? How many rows are updated? And how many rows are what? Deleted. So I'll try to get the count by saying K equal to what is it? Row count. If the K is greater than 0, I'm saying what I'm displaying password updated and do the changes. Okay, else I have to display the message saying that invalid username or old, invalid username or old password. Okay, invalid username or old password. Then I close which one here? Connection. Now this is how you are trying to update it. Now enter username. So there is a user already there, NIT. And what is the old password of NIT? NIT 123. What is the new password I'm giving? NIT 321. Now password updated. See in the database. Now, what is the old password? NIT 123. Now I just write here select star from user register table. Now you can see old password is replaced with what here? New password. It means NIT 123 is replaced with what? NIT 321. Suppose I try to execute again. Now this time enter username is NIT. Old password I said NIT 123. No, but actually what is now password? NIT 321. I want to change to NIT 111. Right? So immediately it is given what? Invalid username or old password. Because what is the password of NIT is here? NIT 321. Okay, now this is updating it. Means if you want to replace, the values, you'll send which command? Update command. If you want to replace the value of a specific column, then you send a update command, you'll send it. You'll try to send which command here? Update command you'll send. Now, if you see the output of this, so but you have to check in the database, it has been updated or not. Where you'll verify is it updated or not in the database. Yes, just see in the database. So NIT 123 is updated to what? NIT 123 is updated to NIT 321. Now, even I want to delete the user. See here, all these are CRUD operations. Program to delete which one? User. Okay. So we are doing the same thing in Oracle, right? Now CX underscore Oracle, and there is a function called which one? Main. Okay. So first step is you have to establish what your connection. So CX underscore Oracle dot connect, username is given, password is given, and where your database is running, and what is the name of your database. Then second step is you have to create a cursor. Now always you create a cursor for sending which statements? SQL statements. Okay. But what you're trying to do, you are trying to delete the user. But to delete the user, what inputs you required? Username. Now which user you want to delete it? Just enter the username which you want to delete without giving any password, because generally this deleting of users are done by which one? Admin. Okay. So admin always delete the user with what name? Username. Getting on. So if you want to input the password, you can also give what? Password. But generally deleting users are done with what name? Username. Okay. So what is the command I'm sending to the database here? Delete. So delete from what is the table name? User register table. Okay, user register table. So where user name equal to :1. So now what I'm doing is I'm saying cursor dot execute. What you're executing command, and to this command I'm sending one value, right? So user name. Now that is singleton tuple. So these values are represented with the tuples. Whatever value you are sending, that values are represented as tuple. And here you are representing a tuple with how many values? One value. Then definitely you have to give comma or not? Yes. After that, you are getting the row count. Okay. If the username is valid, then row count will be a 0. Put in silent here. Who is that? Keep on put in silent. Mobile. నాకు తెలియాలి మీకు మెసేజ్ వస్తుందని. అది కూడా తెలియకపోతే ఎట్లనమ్మా? సైలెంట్లో పెట్టుకోవచ్చు కదా. ఏం బాగా మెసేజెస్ వస్తున్నాయి. మాకు చెప్తావా అమ్మా అన్ని మెసేజెస్ వస్తున్నాయి అనేసి? సైలెంట్లో పెట్టుకోవచ్చు కదా కదా. నేను ఎన్నిసార్లు కానీ చెప్పాను. ఫ్రమ్ బిగినింగ్ ఆన్వర్డ్స్ ఐఎమ్ గెటింగ్ దట్. వాట్ ఈస్ దట్ సౌండ్? ఒక 5-6 సార్లు వచ్చిందా? చెప్పమ్మా. మీ ఫ్రెండ్ వచ్చిందా లేదా? వచ్చినప్పుడు మరి నువ్వన్నా చెప్పవచ్చు కదా. మా పక్కనే ఉన్నావు, సార్ ఏమన్నా అంటాడని నువ్వు చెప్పు, నేను చెప్పొద్దు. ఎవరు చెప్పాలి మరి ఆయనకి? మీ ఫ్రెండ్సే కదమ్మా, చెప్పొచ్చు కదా, సైలెంట్లో పెట్టుకోరా అనేసి. హిందీయా తెలుగా? తెలుగే కదా, తెలుగా. సైలెంట్లో పెట్టుకోవాలి, అందరం పెట్టుకోవాలి. అందరికీ ఉంటాయి మెసేజెస్, అందరికి వస్తాయి మెసేజెస్, కానీ అందరు చూపించుకోరు. సార్ అందరికి ఉంటారు, అందరికి వస్తాయి మెసేజెస్, అంతేనా కదా? మన ఏమన్నా ఫాల్తు కాలమా? కాదు కదా. రైట్. User deleted. So user is what now? Deleted. So after deleting, you do the changes by saying commit. Suppose if that user is not there, the row count will not be greater than 0. So you are saying, what is that? Invalid user name. Invalid user name. And close the connection here. See, if I am writing this logic in GUI, at that time we should not say what is connect, what is execute. Okay. When we write application in GUI, we'll develop one small case study in what? GUI. At that time, I'll be using backend as what? Database. जब नहीं बोलने connect क्या है, a :1 क्या है, %s क्या है. You have to practice all this. Okay. Yes. Just try to check this. Now enter username anyway. If people are very regular to the class, but I don't know how much you are studying, right? Okay, are you listening? Are you practicing? I don't know. Okay. So Ramesh is there. Is it Ramesh user is there or not there? Not there. Invalid user name, right? I'll try to execute it. I'll try to execute again, but this time I enter the username is what? NIT. So user what here? Deleted. So check in the database. Select star from. Select star from which one? User register table. So select this. Now is it NIT is there or not there? Not there. Now this is deleting. So we have seen inserting, we have seen updating, and even we have seen how to delete also, right? So we have seen same thing in MySQL and same thing in what? Oracle. But same thing you can do in any database. Any database. Abhi, see, we have learned how to work with two databases. Okay, I said how to work with Oracle. I said how to work with MySQL. Now, suppose if any other database is given to you, what do you do it? Suppose a company asks you to do insert, update, delete in PostgreSQL. What do you do first? You have to install which one? PostgreSQL. Install which one? PostgreSQL. Now PostgreSQL is available for download. Okay, after installing PostgreSQL, next is what? PostgreSQL. What? Python. Sorry. Python what? Library. You have to download this, right? Now, what is the name of that library? PSYCOPG. So Python. Okay, PostgreSQL for which one? Python. This is now PSYCOPG, right? Now you can see PSYCOPG. Now this is an API to have a communication between the Python as well as what? PostgreSQL. Now you can download this 3.1 or 3.0, which is compatible, right? Okay. Yes. Now you can try to use a pip install, or you can see what is that? pypa.org. Now what you can use here? SQL library. So you can see if any library is there. I think now here is on this one. PS5 COPG. So search for PS5. PS5, what is it? S4 CG, right? Okay, so just search for this library here. You can use pip install. Now this is a package here. Now Python PostgreSQL database adapter. Adapter is used for connecting or not. Yes. You can call it as adapter or you can call it as which one? Library. Okay, now you have to install this library by saying pip install PSYCOPG, right? So this is a library which you are using it. Now pip installable package. Okay. Now this is a library which you are using to communicate with which database here? PostgreSQL database. In the same way, SQL Server, for SQL Server also you find. For SQL Server also you'll find every database, you'll find one library. So only the thing is library changes, but rest of the things will be same. Same connection function, same cursor, execute, fetch, everything will be what? Same. How many lines get changes? Only 2 lines. Importing, connection. Only 2 things will get changed. Only import and one more is what? Connection. Rest of the things will be the same. Okay. Next, now what we'll talk about is this is working with the what is this here? GUI development. Okay. GUI development using what is the name of that here? tkinter. So here I'll try to tell you like there is one more module is there. What is that module is? GUI module is nothing but developing which application? Windows based graphical user interface. Okay, now it's nothing but developing Windows based applications or developing Windows based application or GUI application. GUI means here graphical user interface. Graphical user interface application. So it's nothing but suppose I want to develop calculator. This is which application? GUI application. I want to develop notepad. Notepad is which application? GUI application. I want to develop paintbrush. Paintbrush is which application? GUI application. So how can I develop these kind of graphical user interface applications? For that, Python provide one library called tkinter. Okay. For developing GUI applications, Python provides the following libraries. So there are multiple libraries are there, but in this I'll be telling only one, that is Kinter. You have some libraries like WX Python, there is a PyQt, and there is a Kiwi. So all these are different libraries which are provided by Python for developing which applications? Windows based applications. But now I'm telling you how to work with which one? tkinter. So tkinter is nothing but is a toolkit for graphical user interface. TK Inter is a default. TK Inter is a default library. Is a default library which comes with what here? Python, which comes with the Python software. TK Inter is a default library which comes with the Python software. It means whenever you install the Python software, with the software you'll get which library? TK Inter. So generally you'll say TK Inter is nothing but stands for is a toolkit is a toolkit for which one here? Graphical user interface. So this library provides some GUI components. This library provides some GUI what here? Components. GUI components called which one here? Widgets. Like suppose if you take calculator is there. If you see this calculator, so button is called as which one here? Widgets. Buttons are called as widgets. Window is called as a widget. Okay. This entry field is called as a widget. This menu is called as which one? Widget. All these are what here? Widgets. So what is a widget is nothing but is a GUI component. Every GUI component is called as what here? Widget. Every GUI component is called as a widget. Okay. Yes, it will provide the widgets. Example is like what is the meaning of widget is a graphical component. Like there is a button is there and there is a label and there is an entry field. So there is a checkbox and there is a what is that here? Radio button. So all these are called as which one here? GUI components. And every GUI component is called as what here? Widget. Okay, now it's a default library. Is a default library provided by Python. Now, what I'm saying is import. What I'm importing? TK Inter. So is it imported, right? Okay, now just verify it by just importing which library? TK Inter library. You don't require to install. So it will come with what? Python software only. You don't require to install. You don't require to install. It will come with the Python software. You don't require to install this. Okay. So otherwise, we'll see how to work with this TK Inter GUI development. Tomorrow, I'll tell you like how to develop application, Windows based application or graphical user interface application. So after this GUI, I'll tell you how to work with the NumPy and Pandas. Okay, na? Right. So we'll stop it here and tomorrow we'll see this. Right. Thank you.